myself is Divya Bahal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. The subject that we are going to continue is Mass Transfer Operations 2. So in last lecture we did a sum about simple distillation, right? About differential distillation. It is also called as differential distillation. Now that was solved graphically. How you will solve using analytically, right? So by substituting values in your formula. So here is one of the question. See, a charge of 50 kilomole of a mixture of benzene and chlorobenzene having 55 mole% of less volatile component is to be batch distilled. If 25 moles of solution is vaporized and condensed as a distillate, then calculate concentration of distillate. Here relative volatility is given as 4.1. Now see, concentration of less volatile component is given. Hence your more volatile component concentration would be what? 1 minus 0.55 is equal to 0.45. Your alpha is given, relative volatility is what? 4.15, right? Other than that, what information is given about distillate? Okay, moles of distillate vaporized. So what is that distillate? It is 25 kilomole. Hence your feed residue would be what? Again 25 kilomole. Now integrating this formula, the below one, ln f xf upon wxw. This is obtained how? When we integrate Rayleigh's equation. So you have to remember this formula. Now substituting all the values, what you will get? Xw. So this is what analytical kind of sum. Hence you got Xw value. Now we know about the material balance. Okay, Fxf, that is amount of A in your feed, is equal to amount of A in distillate plus amount of A in residue. Substituting all the values, what you will get? You will get amount of A in distillate. Okay, mole fraction of A in distillate, that is your 0.682. So composition of your distillate is what? Xt is equal to Yd. So that must be clear. Now the vapors which you are condensing out, okay, after condensation it is getting converted into liquid. So the mole fraction of A in vapor, that would be same in liquid also. So it is what? 0.682. Now moving forward over flash distillation. Okay, so now how to solve questions related to flash distillation. Okay, here also graphical questions are asked. Okay, so what are the steps? First of all, your step is to draw equilibrium curve. Okay, y and x data would be given. If not, then an equilibrium relation between y and x would be given. So substituting certain values of x, you can compute equilibrium data, that is y versus x data. The data which you plot in graph, that is the equilibrium curve. Now draw a diagonal. Okay, diagonal is what? At 45 degree, x equal to y line, that is your diagonal. Now locate the feed point corresponding to xf on the diagonal. Okay, on diagonal you have to locate. Feed composition in question, they would have been given the initial concentration. Okay, that is your feed. So you have to plot that on diagonal. Draw the operating line with the slope of minus L by V. Right, so now you have to revise about flash distillations. Okay, what was the operating line? So now what you have to do, starting from the diagonal, you have to draw an operating line of with slope minus L by V. Okay, so the intersection of this line with the equilibrium curve gives you value of Xw and Yd. So first of all, have a quick revision about flash vaporization. Okay, so what the above two equations, first of all, y is equal to 1 minus f upon f into x plus 1 upon fz. Okay, what is this? This is your equation of operating line. Another one is also what? Equation of your operating line. Okay, now what is f here? So once again revise it quickly. F is what? V by f, amount of vapors upon amount of feed. Similarly, one of f is what? L by f. So here f, what was that? It is fraction of feed vaporized. Hence we are taking amount of vapor per feed. So what is your slope? Minus L by V is equal to minus of 1 minus f by f, that is your slope. So these are the certain equation which you have to remember. So let's follow the steps given here and solve a question. Okay, so the question is, a feed containing 50% hexane and 50 mole% octane is fed to a pipe still through a pressure reducing valve and then into a flash disengaging chamber. See, read the question. Okay, your whole flash vaporization method has been explained. Okay, first of all heating is done, then it is pressure reduced. So what happens? So what is that procedure? That is your flash vaporization. So again, the vapor and liquid leaving the chamber are assumed to be in equilibrium. So that was the condition of flash vaporization, right? That your vapor and liquid compositions are in equilibrium. if the fraction of feed converted to vapor is 0.5. So what is 0.5 here? It is your amount, your fraction of feed vaporized. Okay, F is given here, 0.5. Find composition of top and bottom products. Okay, so what you have to find ultimately, you have to find YD and XW. Okay, so here equilibrium data is given. Okay, now material balance line for flash distillation is. So what is that equation? That is your operating line. Okay, so you have to remember that equation. So what I did here, XF, you know XF is given concentration of feed, right? Amount of composition of feed, that is 0.5, hence XF. So what is F here? Fraction of feed vaporized. It is also given 0.5. Hence what did? I calculated the slope. Your slope is again what? Minus 1 minus F upon F. So what is your slope? Minus 1. So this equation, your operating line has a slope of minus 1 and it passes through the point XF equal to 0.5 on diagonal. Remember the steps again. Okay. So on the diagonal, you have to locate your feed point. Okay. XF equal to YF equal to ZF. So XF. So what is that? That is your feed composition which you plot on diagonal line. Now from diagonal line, draw your operating line such that its slope is minus 1. Okay, you calculated the slope as minus 1. So read the instruction. Draw the equilibrium diagram and diagonal. Okay, the first step is using the equilibrium data. You have to draw equilibrium curve. Now from the material balance, okay, from your operating line, you got your slope equal to minus 1. Now from your feed point, okay, on diagonal, first of all you located your feed point. See, on diagonal, that is y equal to x, you have located your feed point. XF is equal to 0.5. From that point, using slope equal to minus 1, plot a line. Now the point P, what is P? It is showing that your operating line here, it is intercepting your equilibrium curve. Okay, so the point of intersection, that is your final answer. Okay, that gives you composition of your more volatile component in liquid and vapor phase. So you can see the coordinates of point P. In X, you can get XW as 0.3. So what is that? That is amount of composition of A in residue. Similarly, 0.7. What is that? That is composition of A in vapor phase. So you can see, hence point P represents the equilibrium vapor and liquid phase composition. Okay, after carrying out this flash vaporization, what are those 2 points, those 2 coordinates, 0.7 and 0.3? Those are the equilibrium values which will exist in your flash column. So the composition of top product is what? 0.69 into 100, that is 69 mole %. And similarly, your composition of bottom product is what? 0.31 into 100. So you can see what is, how you get it. From feed point, draw your operating line. Okay, you have to calculate your slope. So using that slope, draw your operating line. The point where your operating line and equilibrium curve intersect, that gives you the equilibrium final answers. Okay, XW and YD. Now the next topic which we are going to continue is continuous rectification. Okay, this is another kind of your distillation method. In this method, what you do, your feed is supplied continuously into the distillation column. Now what is rectification? Okay, in this method, the enrichment of vapor stream occurs when it passes through the column in contact with reflux, which is termed as rectification. Okay, so in continuous rectification, you are enriching your vapors by continuously doing a contact between vapor and liquid. Now how liquid is doing contact with vapor? With use of reflux. So what is reflux? In reflux, what is it? A part of condensed liquid is returned back. Okay, your vapors you are taking out from the top, you are condensing it and you are again flowing it back into the column. So that is your reflux. Now in this method, multiple stages or trays are used. Okay, so this is your continuous rectification. Now let's have a look on the components of fractionating column. Okay, so what are the components? First of all, your main body, a cylindrical column. Second are plates. What are plates here? It acts as a vapor liquid contacting medium. Okay. Third is condenser. So what your condenser do? All the vapors which are coming out from the top, it is taken out, it condenses. In condenser, vapors are converted into liquid. Again, your reboiler, it is associated in the bottom. From name you can see it reboils. Okay, your liquid, it again reboils and converted into partially vaporized mixture. So this is your overall continuous rectification column, how your continuous rectification does. So you can see distillation column, feed is introduced. Okay, so downward, your liquid is flowing downward, your vapor is rising upward. So those are the multiple stages. Okay, in the top you can see condenser. What does your condenser do? It condenses the vapor into liquid. Similarly, what does your reboiler do? You can see the bottom liquids are again reheated, and it is again sent back to the column as in form of vapor. Okay, now you can see what is reflux. See, the vapors which are taken out in condenser, they are condensed. So in reflux drum you can see the liquid is part of your liquid, okay, part of your distillate. It is again sent back to the column. So that is your reflux. And another part is taken out as your overhead product, which is called as distillate. So now there are certain important terminologies which you have to remember while studying continuous rectification. First of all is reflux. So what is reflux? Portion of overhead liquid product, okay, portion of your distillate which you get in top, it is again sent back, returned to the main column, upper part of your column. So that is your reflux. Now feed plate. The plate in distillation column in where you introduce your feed, that is your feed plate. It is simple, okay. Next is stripping section. Now you have to remember this by heart. What is stripping section? The plates below feed plate and including feed plate, okay, feed plate plus plates below feed plate, that area is your stripping section. So what happens in stripping section is your more volatile component is stripped of the liquid by raising vapors. We will understand it later. So you have to remember that your more volatile component, okay, it should come out in the top. So what happens in stripping section? From the liquids, your more volatile component are stripped off, okay. The next one is enriching section, okay. Now this section, the plates above feed plate, that area comprises of your enriching section, okay. That is upper part of your distillation column. Here what happens, your vapors, they are enriched. It means the less volatile component present in vapor form are washed out, okay, with the help of reflux. Okay, what you are doing in reflux, a part of your liquid is sent back to the column. So vapor, what is happening, this vapor and the liquid, they come in contact, and because of that less volatile component present in your vapor, it is washed out. Hence enrichment happens, okay. Vapors, your more volatile component gets enriched, more and more enriched. So here you can see feed is introduced, so that plays your feed plate. The area including feed plate and the plates below feed plate, those are included in your stripping section. Whereas plates above feed plate, that is your enriching section. So you can see enriching or rectifying section, okay. In rectifying section you can see reflux is happening. So what happens, the vapors rising upwards, they are washed with your reflux, and so less volatile components are taken out from your vapors. Whereas in stripping, what happens, vapor from the reboilers, okay, in your reboiler what happens, liquid is again reheated and converted into vapor. So vapors from your reboiler, they come in contact with the liquid coming down the plate, right. Now as liquid and vapor come in contact here, what happens, your more volatile component is stripped of the liquid, and hence again it is converted into vapor, okay. So that is your stripping section. So in G's, try to remember that in your rectifying section, vapor enrichment occurs. It means your more volatile component is enriched in vapor section, okay. Whereas in stripping, liquid enrichment, it means you are trying to enrich your less volatile component here. You are removing as much as possible more volatile component, and so in stripping section, liquid is high in amount, okay, it is enriched, it means it is rich in less volatile. Whereas in rectifying section, you try to enrich your more volatile component. Now how mass transfer occurs in continuous distillation. So we discussed that plates act as a vapor liquid contacting media. So you can see number of trays are kept in the distillation column, right. The liquid is coming from the top, okay, because of reflux the liquid is coming from the top and the vapors are rising upwards. Now these trees are perforated, okay, holes are there. So because of that your vapors, what does it happen, vapors penetrate through the liquid, and so because of that mass transfer occurs between liquid and vapor phase. So you can see over here how entering streams, okay, vapor and liquid which are entering one plate, and those are living after the contact between them when energy and mass transfer has taken place. So now moving forward, concept of ideal tray. What is ideal tray? So an ideal tray is a hypothetical zone or a stage in which two phases, liquid and vapor, okay, here they of any substance establish an equilibrium with each other. Okay, so it is a hypothetical tray where liquid and vapor contact with each other until equilibrium is established. Okay, it is also called as equilibrium plate and theoretical plate. So the important point which you have to remember even for solving questions is just learn this by heart, that in ideal stage, once they are contacting each other, okay, mass transfer is taking place. So the leaving streams are always in equilibrium. Okay, the leaving streams. So here you can see that in stage 1 L0 and V2 are entering, but V1 and L1 are leaving. So the Y1 and X1 are always in equilibrium. That is the condition of your ideal tray. Okay, it means that is for ideal tray. Okay, when they have reached equilibrium, it means that is the maximum limit of mass transfer. So your ideal tray is what? Leaving streams are always in equilibrium. Now talking about rectification on ideal plate, how mass transfer and energy transfer occur. Okay, in continuous rectification, what you are doing, as number of plates are increased, okay, for different plate you will have different equilibrium condition. Suppose in plate 1, as we saw here, in one stage, in this is any stage 1, my leaving streams are in equilibrium. Okay, V1 and L1 stream. So Y1 and X1 are my equilibrium condition. Here similarly for different plate you have different equilibrium condition. Now talking about plate N. Okay, so in plate N you can see vapors from N plus 1 plate are entering and liquid from N minus 1 is entering. So what are the entering streams? Those are Vn plus 1 and Ln minus 1. They come on plate N. Now on plate N, heat and mass transfer occur. Okay, up till when they interact till equilibrium is achieved. Now let's see how mass transfer occur on plate N. Now you can see in plate N, okay, L liquid from N minus 1 plate is coming. So its mole concentration of more volatile is what? Xn minus 1. That is composition of more volatile in N minus 1 plate. So it's coming on plate N. It will interact with vapors coming from N plus 1. Okay, so the composition is what? Yn plus 1. Now your more volatile, what is the need here? We have to convert more volatile component from liquid to vapor. Okay, so on plate 10 your more volatile component will transfer from liquid to vapor. It means now the composition of more volatile component has decreased from N minus 1 to N. Okay, Xn minus 1 to Xn. It has been decreased. So you can see here from more volatile component from Xn minus 1 it has been decreased to Xn. Okay, similarly, so it has decreased, A has been taken out from liquid, it has been transferred to Y. So I can say that my mole fraction of more volatile component has now increased in vapor phase. So you can say that from Yn plus 1 more volatile composition has been increased to Yn. So this way you can see vapors which are going on top, their composition is increasing, whereas liquid which is going from top to bottom, composition of more volatile is decreasing. So you can say that vapors going on top, their mole fraction is increasing, liquid which is going down, its mole fraction is decreasing. Okay. Hence I can say that vapors which are going on top, its mole fraction is increasing. Okay, whereas the liquid which is going down, the mole fraction, it is decreasing. More volatile component is decreasing now. So that is how your mass transfer occurs. Now talking about energy transfer. Your liquid, it is at bubble point, whereas your vapor, it is at dew point. So what happens now? How energy transfer occurs? See, the heat to vaporize the liquid to vapor. Okay, if I have to vaporize 1 mole of liquid, then correspondingly 1 mole of my vapor will condense. So that way energy transfer occurs. So you can see the heat to vaporize the more volatile component in liquid, it is supplied by heat released in the condensation of less volatile component from vapor. Less volatile component always comes on bottom and your more volatile component goes on top. So the less volatile component which is present in vapor, it condenses and gets transferred into liquid phase, whereas your more volatile component, it vaporizes from liquid to vapor phase. Hence, composition of more volatile increases in vapor and composition of less volatile increases in liquid phase. Okay, so you can say that that's why the net effect is what? You get your more volatile component on top and less volatile in bottom. Now talking about the temperature. As we go on the top, temperature decreases. Okay, temperature decreases because on top what you get? You get your more volatile component. The boiling point is of course less. Hence temperature at top is what? Less than that in the bottom. So you can see the temperature versus mole fraction graph. Okay, so on bubble point curve you can see as the C point, as you go from C to A, from n-1 to n-1 to xn plate. Okay, n-1 to n plate, your temperature is increases, whereas when you go from D to B, okay, it is decreasing.